And now I'll go ahead and introduce, we have Mark and Jim from PinPoint here. They're with PinPoint Status, and we've been working with them for a few months now, and I've really enjoyed our conversation with them. You all might be familiar with Nick Began. He is, I don't know, actually even know I know he was one of the people who started it. He may be the guy. So yeah, Nick Began, who was with Rockheads, and now he's with PinPoint Status. And so we have really enjoyed working with them, and we're excited to offer this integration to you all. We think they bring something unique that we don't currently offer with our, they bring something unique to the table. So we're excited to share them with you all. So go ahead, Mark, feel free to start the presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Grace. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So we're going to be very straightforward on the things that we're going to kind of go through here. I think the big advantage for everyone is we're going to walk through a demonstration video. It's about 4 to 5 minutes long at tops, and then kind of come back and highlight some of the, really the wins that are in it for your company, why the service providers like it, and why the consumer really enjoys it. The big piece, obviously, everybody being ActionFlow users on your end, and knowing that it's a powerful business management solution. Where PinPoint Status kind of fits in, it's really on that last mile of the customer experience that we're going to help drive a better reviews and better expectations and visibility on when the service provider is going to be there and who it's going to be. So just as kind of a highlight here, kind of our goal here is to not get into super detailed weeds. We'd be glad to, but we want to get you to a personalized demonstration, one-on-one, really understanding your processes when you're using ActionFlow, when PinPoint kind of steps in and does that last mile that we talked about. And so Grace will share a link at the end here, that'll a direct landing page about our integration to set up a schedule a demo. You just book time on our calendar that's convenient for you. And the other thing to kind of highlight, kind of the partnership that we have between our two companies is as an ActionFlow customer, you can use PinPoint Status with a waived setup fee, which is typically around $995. So it basically gets you get you to try the system, and it's month to month. There are no long-term agreements. So that said, I think it probably makes most sense, Grace, if you'd be kind enough to walk us through the video.
Let me know if you can't hear it in a second, but I think I've got the sound going. So here we go.
PinPoint Status transforms your customer experience by providing automated appointment reminders, accurate arrival windows, and real-time updates for your customers. In this video, we'll give you an overview of how the PinPoint Status mobile app and portal work together to improve customer communications, service provider performance, and customer ratings and reviews. When you become a PinPoint Status customer, the first step is integrating your new account with your existing scheduling software. To get started, all we need is access to your scheduling account and some basic information about your communication preferences. We take it from there. The integration process can be completed in just a few days. After you're up and running, PinPoint Status will automatically sync your job and customer data directly from your scheduling software. This data is used to automate your appointment reminders and customer communications. There are no additional steps involved or new scheduling tools to learn. You simply schedule your jobs as usual, and PinPoint Status automates your customer communications behind the scenes. Your customer can automatically receive text messages in advance of their appointment to remind them of important details. Using the PinPoint Status portal, you can customize one or more reminder messages as well as the times and dates they're sent. When the day of the appointment arrives, your service provider can view their scheduled jobs in the PinPoint Status app. Jobs that have not been started will be blue, jobs that are in progress will be red, and jobs that are completed will be gray. When your service provider is ready to head to the job site, they can start the job in PinPoint Status using our mobile app. Starting a job triggers an automated text message that includes information regarding the service provider, an estimated arrival time, and a link to a map displaying the real-time location of the service provider. At this time, the customer can communicate directly with the service provider within the PinPoint Status app by replying to the text message. Your service provider is able to communicate directly with the customer without having to share a personal phone number. The messaging feature lets customers ask questions or provide important arrival information like gate security codes. All customer correspondence can be viewed in the PinPoint Status portal. When your service provider arrives at the job site, PinPoint Status tracks how long the job takes to complete. The app also allows service providers to take and upload job-related photos to the PinPoint Status portal. This feature offers a great way to capture before and after photos or document existing damage to protect your company against liability claims. When the work is finished, your service provider marks the job as complete in the PinPoint Status app. Completing a job disables the service provider location data. It also initiates the review process. After the service provider leaves, your customer will automatically receive a text message asking them to rate their service on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest. The customer simply has to respond to the text message. Once a rating number is provided, they'll be asked to provide any additional written feedback. These responses are not sent to your service provider. Instead, they're recorded in the PinPoint Status portal. You can use the ratings and reviews to track customer satisfaction and identify potential service problems. Speaking of problems, PinPoint Status also offers the option to send a warning email to your team immediately after receiving a low rating. This notification gives you the opportunity to quickly address any potential customer service issues. Finally, you can set up PinPoint Status to automatically ask customers for an online review after the job is completed, enabling you to capture positive reviews on your Google Business account and social media platforms. PinPoint Status translates data from all of your company's in-home service appointments into metrics that matter for your organization. Using the PinPoint Status portal, you can access our analytics dashboard by clicking on the Reports tab. There, reports can be filtered by service provider or date range to provide insight into everything from average travel and on-site job times to average ratings and on-time arrival percentages. You can use this information to monitor customer satisfaction and service ratings and to evaluate the performance of your service providers. With these powerful tools, PinPoint Status gives your business access to the same customer service technologies leveraged by large national brands. And because the cost of PinPoint Status is directly related to the size of your team, it's never out of reach. So what are you waiting for? Start transforming your customer experience today with PinPoint Status.
All right, I'm gonna, turn it back to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for watching that. I think what I'd like to really kind of walk through, all right, what's the win for your organization? What's the win for the service providers and then the customer? So the key component behind here, in all honesty, is with our integration with ActionFlow, there's no rekeying of that scheduling data. So in the video, I think it was a Google Calendar that was in there. But once you put that within ActionFlow, within Scheduler, through an API, we basically pull that into the installer's application and into the portal. So there's no rekeying. It's there and ready to go to start their day. It makes it really easy to set up and really easy to use. So just a couple of things to highlight that are in there that I just want to hit on with everybody is, why do companies love it? What are they getting out of it for sure? So it's first and foremost, the reduction in costly missed appointments, right? With no shows, people driving out, up to a couple of hours sometimes to do jobs. Simply by automating, sending reminders and getting confirmation on those can reduce missed appointments by up to 26%. Another thing companies love is reducing the call volumes from customers. Where is my service provider? When is my appointment if they're forgetful? So that's an important component. The system as well, and from an automation perspective, can be week before reminders, 2 days before, or day of reminders with particular windows. And as you saw within the application, once they're kind of in there, someone is there, after they're done with a job, everyone could always use more reviews, right? And that can be linked to, again, Google, Facebook, Houzz, wherever you want that to go to. But getting these better visibilities and things like that and driving more reviews, it's going to help you achieve higher organic ratings on Google when people are searching for the products and services that you do. And you guys all know this, but just some fun stats on reviews and the importance of them. 78% of buyers look at reviews online and treat them just as much as it's a referral from a friend. That number actually goes up to like 91% if you're between 18 and 34 years old. Like they look at that as like what people are saying is as impactful as a personal friend to do that. Obviously, you're going to enhance your overall quality of service and then reduce liabilities and kind of drive more accountability. Up here in kind of the corner, they quickly went through it in the video, but you're able to go by service provider, their average star ratings. I think another thing that's important as well here is this low rating indicator. So if there is an issue, someone back at the home office is alerted instantly. And we all know if you can kind of get ahead of a problem and look into those things, you're most likely going to be able to resolve that issue. So that's from a company perspective. From a service provider, it's pretty straightforward where, the biggest thing we hear is they no longer need to call the customer. A lot of service providers don't like making that call, right? It just takes and automates that process behind it. And then, of course, by doing that, by reducing calls to the office from the consumer, the office isn't then calling the service provider, where are you at? Are you almost finished with the job? They're able to go into the application and see the job status, if you're still on the job or if you've moved on to the next location. A big thing here as well is people getting recognized for their job performance. You're getting instant feedback on how you're doing and kind of getting rewarded and recognized for that. One of the things you saw in the video as well is we do show a picture and a bio in advance. That's not mandatory that you have that, but a lot of the service providers and companies find it kind of gives a warmer welcome. It personalizes who the person is, their experience. Maybe they're a dog lover. You're not just the granite guy. And, the things that we've kind of see is when you make it more personal about someone and not just the company getting a review, you're typically going to score higher within there. Over here on the right is the application. It is intentionally designed to be incredibly simple. They're just hitting the start button, any texting, two-way messaging, and stopping the job that you walk through there. You can take some pictures within here as well, but I know that's a feature that's available within ActionFlow, but it is available here if you want to store it in a different place for some reason. And then privacy of the phone number. So we actually rotate through a library of anonymous phone numbers for texting. So even though there is that two-way communication, the consumer is not going to be calling the service provider at 10 o'clock at night saying, hey, you scuffed my floor or whatever it might be. They'll be instructed to call the office. And then lastly, the customer experience. And when we hopefully walk some of you folks through the personalized demonstration, we'll actually have you go through the exercise as the customer receiving those texts, updates, and bios. But it's a simplified appointment process with text and email reminders, real-time GPS updates that we have. There's no guessing, the windows of times that folks are going to be there. So if you have, it's to the minute, ETA. So if you need to run out, pick up dry cleaning, pick up a kid, a lot of days people are home, right? They're working from home, but they could be on conference calls and they could text right back to the service provider, hey, I'll let you in 5 minutes, please don't take off type thing. You're not able to come to the door. A real benefit we found from the picture and bio, again, the service provider likes it from the personalization aspect, but it's a security component for the consumer. I know myself, right? There's a different truck or delivery here coming at least multiple times a week. And before you kind of just let somebody into your home, if they're in an unmarked van or not in a uniform, knowing who that person is so you can identify them for security purposes is something that consumers truly like. Of course, the direct communication with a service provider, you can let them know if you need a gate code or running 5 minutes late. And then the last piece, right, is we all kind of know we've really moved into this on-demand society where people are kind of expecting visibility and the expectations of when is my service provider or my service going to be here, whether that's, Amazon packages or think about DoorDash for food or, ordering an Uber or a Lyft, all that on the way type tracking. It's really, quite honestly, been a bit neglected in the home installation, home service space. And that's kind of the gap that we fill within there. Lastly, again, and I think Grace is going to send this out through the chat, and we can send this presentation as well, is the link. It's the landing page again that offers everyone the ability to get the personalized demonstration, learn about your process, and then again, it's the waiving of the setup fee and no long-term contracts, month to month with no commitments. So that is PinPoint Status. That's where we kind of fit in. Again, it's adding value in that last mile of all the hard work you guys have done of marketing to your consumers, getting the job, all measured and everything, and getting ready to go. But it's the customer service component that really makes it a win. It's kind of the little niche that PinPoint Status fits within. So, Grace, I think if you're good with it, this is probably a good time for any questions and answer section that anybody might have.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Mark. Feel free to either unmute yourself and ask questions, or you can put them in the chat. And I will say PinPoint will be at the Peace and Productivity Retreat. We're really excited to have them there. And so you will get to talk to, I think Mark will be there. And so I'm going to put that also there. We'd love to have you all there if you haven't registered yet. And that will be another opportunity to talk a little more with Mark about your system. So feel free to ask questions there. We got them here.
I have a question. Is there the expectation that the consumer is going to install the PinPoint app? Did I get that from the video?
Yeah, that's a great call. The consumer just simply gets a text message. They don't need to do anything. The only person that downloads the application is the service provider.
Okay.
And everything else, from like the text automation and the bio and everything, it's just a text they receive and a link that they click on. Yeah, there's no expectation. They don't need to do anything besides just enable, text messaging or emails, right? It doesn't have to be text, but most people, I think you're 11 times more likely to respond to a text than an email. So that's typically the preferred method that people communicate with the consumers.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mark, besides the onboarding fee, which I believe you're saying is waived, what is the ongoing fees? Is it per user, per account? How does that work?
Yeah, thank you, Chad. It's $19 per month per subscriber. And so a subscriber is, if you guys are typically a crew leader, if you're running crews and, of 2 or 3 or maybe even 4, only one person, the crew leader, would need to communicate with the customer. Not all 4 people within a truck would need to let the customer know that they're on the way. So typically it's crew leaders and the Templars that we typically have licenses.
Thank you.
And it's $19 a month, month to month. And you can turn on and add users as you guys see fit, throughout the month. If it's your busy season, you can turn on more users or simply turn people off.
But you don't want to turn people off.
Sorry. If they leave your organization,
you're exciting them. You're not turning them off. All right, sorry, bad joke.
No, I liked it.
Hey, Mark, you might have already answered this. I came in kind of late. Does the text message come from the phone's phone number, or is it an independent phone number?
Yep, great question. Thanks, Dean. It's a randomized phone number, a bank of phone numbers that we have. So there's privacy behind that. So the service provider's never releasing their actual cell phone number. Also, if you were to use pictures within here, that doesn't save on the service provider's phone. It just goes into the PinPoint Status portal for you. So the only thing they're really using their cell phone for is texting back and forth, and the GPS locations. The GPS location only tracks when they're on the way. It doesn't track them all day of where they're going, just for starting on the way driving and things like that. So that's an important thing that service providers like, hey, I don't want to, where I'm at all day long, or get around to Home Depot or whatever to pick something up. It's only tracking when you're en route to that job, and stops once you complete it.
And does it update the office as well simultaneously when they update the client?
Yes. Yep. So within the portal in the home office, they can actually go into real time of the job and see where the job status is. Some things that people really like within there as well is it's capturing any communication, right? So if someone says, it gets rid of a lot of that he said, she said, right? Where it's like, no, I was home, and you can see those text messages. The office has that, and that's saved historically within the portal.
That was going to be my next question. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Great.
We have a question in the chat. Juliana asks, can someone from the office, not the person actually heading to complete the service, can they text the customer through the application? So is the office able to text the customer?
Not through the application. No, it's through the not through the portal. The only thing that goes through there is the appointment reminders and any specifics they want with that. So whether it's timing of a window they may be there, or a link to special instructions of things that they need to do, make sure countertops are clean, or if it's flooring, that you get the furniture off of the floor. But no, the only real-time texting would be through the service provider and the consumer.
Okay.
Very good question. Today, that's where we're at.
She said, thank you for your answer.
Oh. Wonderful. Good. Anybody else? Any other chats or questions from anyone? It's straightforward. Yeah, go ahead.
What does integration look like? What's the process look like?
So you'll get scheduled with one of our onboarding specialists. Again, all the integration with ActionFlow is already done and working. We have a handful of people already on that. So I believe it's just getting credentials from a seat license, correct, Grace and Reese? We get that over, and basically it allows our application to see your scheduling data and to bring that information over. Typically, that process in the training is all under 45 minutes, half hour to 45 minutes. And again, if we need to do additional training, glad to do it with your service providers. Typically, we just send videos. I mean, it's really clicking on 3 buttons for them, but it's kind of making sure we integrate within your processes, right? And understand, do you guys typically do appointment reminders or someone calling, a week before, day before, making sure that we customize that around how you're running your business. So it works. It's not a disruptor. It's just enabling, again, that next level of transparency and accountability for on-the-way messaging and whatnot.
What client's data is transferred over from ActionFlow to the software? And do you guys keep that data, or?
Great question. All we're bringing over here, let me go to the app picture here, flip through slides here for a second. This is all that's coming over within here. So it's name, address, phone number. That's the only things that we're bringing in there. You are able to bring over some notes if there's some specific things that you need to know in advance. You can't put that in a notes field within here, but that's it. Everything else is kind of done within ActionFlow. From any of the specifics of the job or things you need to know, just name, address, phone number.
And you guys don't sell the data or anything like that, I assume?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, great. That's a great question. No, absolutely not. Right. But it all stays within there. Yeah, so we don't know anything about the pricing or whatever it might be throughout there. It's just name and address.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
Mark, sorry. I was just going to add, can you speak more to the collection of the Google reviews? And, if you get that two rating back, you don't necessarily want that one to go through to a Google review or Facebook review. So how you all kind of build that into the process.
Thanks for hitting on that again. That is a key feature. So when you complete a job, the way that our system is set up, if you get a 4 or a 5, it will follow up then with a link to wherever you want to go, Houzz, Yelp, Google for a business review. If you get a 3 or under, that link does not go out. We send a low warning alert to the home office, person of your choosing, saying, hey, there was an issue here. And what's beautiful about it is that person, once they're alerted, they can go inside the portal and see all the account history, like what has happened, right? Was there, did they miss the appointment? Was there damage? Any type of communication back and forth. They can get some notes to be prepared before they call. So one of the things that service does is hopefully get that resolved. We actually hold that review that goes out, that link to the review, for 72 hours before we'll send that link for them. So hopefully get that issue resolved before that link goes out. So what we've found, most people start with just getting the 1 through 5 rating for about a month to get people used to it and see what type of responses you're going to be getting. And then our onboarding specialist will reach out to you to turn on that Google rating feature within there, just to make sure there's no noise. Everybody's understanding the whole process and how it works, to keep you guys with the best online processes. So It's called gating. If you can't send a review only to the people that really like you, and then suppress the ones that don't. So what we do, kind of the area around, is we hold it for 72 hours to let you resolve the issue before anything would go out. So you can have it automatically sent that link, or you can again turn that off until you guys are kind of ready and comfortable with the type of reviews that you're getting.
Can you have the review turned off entirely?
Yes. Yeah. So not even, you can have the Google reviews turned off. You could even have if you wanted to send out a different thing than the 1 through 5 star rating, some type of survey with a link that you want them to go through to fill out, you could do that as well. So it's all customizable. Yep.
Nice. Very cool.
Do you, I mean, it's cool, and I'm just thinking through it. Is the expectation that this is just a review for the installation part, or like the whole process?
Yep.
Yeah.
It really kind of, so that review doesn't go out until the job is complete. Like it's your last stage, right? And I know there's multi-day, multi-steps in a lot of the process in the fabrication space. So you can word that. It does ask you, how would you rate your service provider's performance? You can, again, all this is customizable around your process. It's custom messaging, right? So you could, how was the overall experience, right? Or, make it around the product and not even around installation. It's all customizable on that messaging. The default is really to drive that customer service from the service provider, right? Like the installation component.
Right.
Because that's quite honestly, that's where a lot of things go bad, right? You work your tail off, do everything right, and then there's an issue at the end, and somebody gets cranky and leaves you a bad review on the installation process. So. Or could be. So it's kind of averting that a little bit.
Hey, Mark, we got one more question in the chat. Laura asked, are you able to rotate between review sites? Is that manual or automatic? So Laura, I'm guessing you mean between like Google, Facebook, etc.
So you got, that's it. That's actually an awesome question. Yes, you are. You can, it's all again on that custom messaging. And when we do the personalized demo, we'll show you that customized messaging. You could change it on a daily basis, I guess, on what different link that you want to send. You can't pick per job how that wants to go. It's because if it's good for one, it's good for all for that day. But yes, you could, and kind of look, if you need to bump up maybe some of your Yelp reviews, focus on that for a while, then go to a different platform. That's part of the custom message feature. Really good question.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. She says, say you get a 3-star review and you resolve the issue, then do you then resend the rating?
Then that link would go out 72 hours after that. So we suppress that link that goes out, and we'll walk you through this in the demo. But yeah, it does need to go out within 72 hours, and it's automated. It's not even something that you need to do. You don't need to click a button to make that Google link or wherever you're going go out.
Okay. She says thanks.
Welcome.
And I'll just jump in here, and maybe this is redundant or stating the obvious, but we are integrating, and we're excited. I mean, I think there's some really valuable benefits to the stuff that's on the screen right there. It just, as we started talking with PinPoint, there's like, if these are the features that ActionFlow offers, and this is what PinPoint, it seemed like, reducing call volume, automating those reminders, the pictures, the reviews, all of that stuff, just seems to me that they're providing a lot of valuable services that we weren't offering. And so I think this integration is going to be a nice win-win-win, maybe 4 or 5 different wins in there for everyone involved. So yeah, we're excited about it.